Yo! Welcome back to the MMA Short Show. As always, your boy, Steven Moustaris. And guys, if you guys watched the whole Bellator and the PFL, fight card that we just had last weekend, there's really no shocker that Bellator went over there and just absolutely mopped the floor with the PFL. But the only fight that mattered at all for the PFL, the only fight they needed one of their guys to win was the main event, Ferreira, when he knocked out Ryan Bader. It was the best thing that could have possibly happened for the PFL. And for the people out there that have been, dying for a competitor out there to give the UFC some problems, the PFL is in the driver's seat for the first time in a while for any other organization to maybe make a splash. Not only did they already get Francis Ngannou, which is the biggest thing ever, but just this past week they announced that whoever won that fight between Ferreira and Ryan Bader were going to fight Francis Ngannou in his first, fight in the PFL. And man, this is their golden ticket. This is finally the chance that we might see an organization actually start giving some problems out there. And Ryan Bader, no offense to Ryan Bader, but we already watched what could have happened to him in the UFC. John Jones took him out. You end up losing to Tito Ortiz, and like, come on now. That one right there is shocking alone. Got knocked out by Glover Teixeira. Every time that he almost got a chance to fight for the belt, he'd get knocked out by Rebel Johnson. And I mean, the dude lost to Corey Anderson in the Bellator. Like, he had a great Bellator run, but he's 40 years old. And we all know, man, that he has no chance of beating Francis Ngannou. And even if he does, that's not going to do anything for the future of the PFL. And then here comes in 6'8", 264, I think he's got 86, 87, 88-inch reach or some wild shit, like one of the longest reaches we've ever seen in MMA. Renan Ferreira, man, this dude is a killer. Like, I don't think any of us really think that there's a chance he can beat Francis Ngannou, but if there's a heavyweight, out there at all outside of the UFC that could maybe actually give Francis Ngannou some problems, it's going to be this guy. And I'm still skeptical if Francis even comes over and fights MMA ever again, because this man right now has a chance to do something that would be absolutely mind-blowing. If you guys have kept up with boxing at all in the last 5-6 years, it's been surrounded by Anthony Joshua, for Tyson Fury and good old Deontay Wilder. And outside of the Fury-Wilder fights, the trilogy we got, these guys don't even fight each other. It's politicking and everything. And this man, Francis Ngannou, has a chance to go out there. Yeah, sure, he lost to, Tyson Fury, but we all know that he actually won that fight. And he has a chance next month to go out there and look, if this man even has a decent performance like he did against Fury, against Joshua in a month, I mean, it's going to be hard to see this man even want to come back to MMA, and he'll have a chance to go out and, take out the three-headed monster of boxing. And he could go out, if he beats Anthony Joshua, he's going to go out and fight Deontay Wilder and make that big bag. And he has a chance to fight those three guys within a year or year and a half, when those guys didn't even do it in 6 years in their own sport. So this man has a chance to do some wild stuff. But I do think he's a man of his word. And I mean, if the opposite way, if he does get knocked out by Anthony Joshua, it's going to be tough to see the PFL really hold out and wait another 6-7 months, or 8 months to a year, whatever it would be, to finally get Renan Ferreira in there to fight, Francis Ngannou. I just, there's so many ifs still, but, for the PFL to finally get their golden ticket, you're already guaranteed if Francis Ngannou does make his debut or does make his first fight or whatever for the PFL, you're already guaranteed a huge pay-per-view. What, at least 700,000, especially if he goes out there and looks good against Anthony Joshua. Like, I'm telling you right now, this man they already have a chance to have $1 million pay-per-view. But $1 million buys, I should say. But one of the biggest things that I really think could be the best for the PFL, Francis Ngannou is 38 years old in September this year, and probably 38 by the time we see him in the PFL. If not, you never know what could happen with boxing. But if not 39, you never know what could happen. And yeah, Renan Ferreira is still 34, 35. But if Renan Ferreira goes out there and actually beats Francis Ngannou in his comeback fight, and it wouldn't be that shocking, because I mean, let's be honest here. When we saw Conor McGregor go over to box, it pretty much ruined his MMA career, because he lost his kicking, he lost everything, all because he focused on boxing for so long, tried to come back into the mixed martial art of every sport, every combat sport possible. Like, it wouldn't be shocking at all if Francis, falls in love with his striking, gets a little hot, big-headed because he just had a great fight with Tyson Fury, and, maybe has a good fight with Anthony Joshua, two of the best boxers in the world, supposedly. I mean, this man could, you never know. He could get knocked out at 38 years old by somebody with, 4-ounce gloves. Anything can happen at heavyweight, but that would be ideal for PFL. And then finally, or even if Francis does win, has a huge knockout, you're going to automatically have that second fight as well. So this is a huge chance for the PFL to finally make some noise, finally get some people. I'm telling you, the talent they got from Bellator is stacked, and you guys better be watching out. But This is a chance, man. If you guys are out there, I know there's a bunch out there that are actually rooting for a competitor out there to maybe even overthrow the UFC at some point in time, or at least make them pressured and actually have to start paying their fighters and actually have to start caring. I mean, this is the chance for the PFL right here. They got their golden ticket if this is Willy Wonka. So I'd like to see them, capitalize. But there are so many what ifs when it comes to Francis Ngannou. I'm still not even. I think I'm still leaning 50-50, maybe even like 60-40 that he doesn't come back just because he's tasted that boxing money. He's showing how good he is. Like I said, he's 37, about to be 38. Like, I don't know if he wants to put his knees through the problem. We saw what Cyril Gane and everything. That man had no knees, had to get surgery and everything and take out, what, a whole year of his career, which, worked out and paid off well. But still, man, it's a crazy sport, crazy, fight camps. I'm still not even sure if Francis comes back and fights, but if you're the PFL, you keep milking it, you keep doing that thing, and you keep pushing it, and you're hoping next month that Francis has a great opportunity and a great performance against Anthony Joshua. So I'm just saying, guys, this is great because every other time we've ever seen this with Strikeforce or Elite XC or you name any Affliction cards or whatever, you name them, WEC, whatever it is, if they've ever had any good, any good positive things going on with them, the UFC buys them out. In the PFL, like I just said, the one championships, dealing with their own financial struggles, which isn't shocking at all. The way they give $100,000 bonuses to fighters, and I think they gave $150,000 bonus to one of their ring announcers just for the hell of it the one time. It's like no shocker they're running out of money, and you just bought Bellator and acquired all their talent, which is better than your PFL talent. I mean, I'm just saying, man, this sport is evolving. We're getting way better fighters, and this is the PFL's chance, and I'd love to see them do their thing. And they got to be so happy that at least they have. If you're gonna be counting on one fighter to go with his word, Francis Ngannou is one of the ones up there. There's probably on the short list of the top three. Like, hey, once he says something, he's gonna do it mostly. So even if he gets knocked out by Anthony Joshua viciously or something, I do think that's probably a better way we'll see him come back to MMA. But if he has any good any good performance against Anthony Joshua, I bet you he takes that Deontay Wilder fight for way many more millions than what he's getting paid by the PFL. But as always, your boy, Steven Moustaris, and I can't wait to see this play out. And let's go, baby. Let's go.